Hello everyone, welcome to the Good, the Bad, the TNA, or Impact Wrestling for the October 20th episode of TNA Impact Wrestling. I'm going to go off and say that there are certain things I felt like this was a great show, and I will go off and say this was also a horrible show to go off the boot with it as well. What made it great? Honestly, seeing title changes on the TV show was great. Seeing returns is a good thing that you get in there. You got a Gail Kim return in there, so obviously they're going to be putting her in the Knockouts division. That's good. It's good to see her back in TNA. They'll obviously use her in a different way than the WWE did, so that will be a good. That will be good for Gail Kim, her career, and probably the TNA fans on that aspect. I'll get into the title change and the James Storm thing down a little bit later. I'll just go off and say what I felt was horrible about the show. There was just too much talking. Way too much talking in the show. There was no reason for the first segment of the show to go on for 40 minutes. You had 3 commercial breaks within the time frame of the first segment before you got to your first match. This could have easily been, I felt like this could have, they could have done something like easily 20 minutes long, and then you could get into your first match. You could have done things with Hogan and Bischoff later in the show. You didn't have to have Hogan come out there and take up another 5 to 10 minute chunk of time period. Seeing Dixie Carter come back out there and giving Sting power, that was definitely necessary. That was showing that she is entrusting Sting with the day-to-day operations of the wrestling show. I like that. That worked on that aspect. But just all in all, I mean, you probably had all of maybe 10 minutes of in-ring action during the entire show. You had the first match, which was the Knockouts Tag Team title match with Miss Tessmacher and Tara versus with Winter and Angelina Love. That lasted probably all of 4 minutes, and the titles were retained there. You had maybe 30 seconds to maybe a minute and a half with Abyss and Gunter before they had Gunter run off, because they were obviously showing off Abyss in a different light at that moment in time. And then, of course, the world title match, which was all of 2 minutes. And honestly, I feel like when they do that, even coming off of the pay-per-view, which I felt was a good pay-per-view coming for Bound for Glory and everything. I know there was other things that went down about it, but on TV, it came off extremely well. And it came off extremely well and extremely well done. So honestly, I don't know why they did so much talking. I mean, they were going for closure on their angles, but a lot of them already had closure from the pay-per-view, and they could have been done in sporadic spots where you didn't need to take up so much time talking. You had, like I said, you had 40 minutes of the 40 minutes for the opening segment, which had Sting, Dixie Carter, Hogan coming out there, Kurt Angle then coming out, then Bobby Roode coming out, and then James Storm, which eventually led to the whole James Storm versus Kurt Angle match to begin with. Got an itch on my nose. And you also had the Velvet Sky segment where she was coming out talking about the Knockouts title and everything. Then you had Karen come out and interrupt, and this eventually led to Gail Kim coming in. After Madison Rayne distracted Velvet Sky, Gail Kim came in and put the beat down on. But all in all, it felt bad just seeing one talking segment after another, and you had no in-ring action to coincide with what they were trying to build in storyline. And a lot of it was just closure going into from Bound for Glory, and not much going on for what's going to go down in the future outside of the world title match, which I'm going to get into now. The world title match with James Storm and Kurt Angle. Don't get me wrong, James Storm deserves to have that title. He's been with that company for 9.5 years. He's been there since the beginning. He definitely deserves it. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He deserves a title run. I just don't feel like they should have done it in a 2-minute match. Also, it makes it feel like they just wasted an entire storyline with Bobby Roode there, because they built him up through the whole Bound for Glory series, and then they had him lose at Bound for Glory in the fashion that he did. And from what I can, at least from what I can remember, somebody tell me if I'm wrong, they didn't even put a clause in there or say anything about a clause that he would only get to face him once to begin with. So they didn't really need to write themselves into that corner to put James Storm in this match. They could have put Bobby Roode in this match and done the moment then and there. And then to kick everything out of it as well, it was only a 2-minute match. I understand Kurt Angle's injured, but I've seen him work much longer matches. He could have done something 10 minutes long, and obviously the pay-per-view match itself was longer. It was pretty long as well. So it does seem bittersweet to see how they decided to put the title on James Storm. Maybe they're going to be, hopefully they'll be doing a full-on storyline with him and Bobby Roode going after, with the title on the line. So, I mean, there's stuff in the future to look forward to. It's just that this episode of TNA Impact just came off completely horrible. You got people, I think a lot more people were watching. I'm not too sure on that myself, but all in all, I cannot give this a good grade. I cannot say it was a good episode. It was way too much talk, not enough action. We know in the past you can get storylines started with action versus words, but obviously it was words this time. And all in all, I just felt like it was a bad show overall. It had a couple great moments in it. So that's my thoughts on the TNA Impact for this week. Thank you guys for watching.